If you've ever pulled yourself out of bed before sunrise, poured your first cup of coffee in the dark, and quietly asked yourself, is this really all there is? Then, this is for you. Because no one really tells you the truth about the 9 to 5 American worker. For years, society has painted this life as average, nothing special, the safe option for people who didn't aim higher. And if you've ever felt a little uncomfortable saying, I just have a regular job, then you've already felt that pressure. But psychology tells a completely different story. A 9 to 5 worker isn't someone who gave up. The research shows that showing up every day, sticking to a structure, providing for the people you care about, and building something steady in a chaotic world, that isn't a small life. In many ways, it's a deeply grounded and psychologically advanced one. So today, we're breaking down the real psychology behind what it means to be a 9 to 5 American worker. Not empty praise, but what the research actually shows. And by the end of this, you're probably going to see yourself a little differently. Let's get into it. Number 1, you've mastered one of the hardest psychological skills there is: delayed gratification. Psychology shows that the ability to work towards something without seeing results right away, whether it takes days, weeks, or months, is one of the strongest predictors of long-term well-being ever studied. Decades of research, including the well-known Stanford marshmallow experiments, consistently show that people who can wait for a reward tend to live healthier, more stable, and more fulfilling lives. And what are you doing every time you clock in for a paycheck that doesn't come until Friday? You're training that exact ability. You hold it together on a Thursday when someone gets on your last nerve, because you understand the bigger goal matters more than the moment. That's not weakness. That's one of the highest level cognitive strengths a person can have. And you've been doing it for so long, it just feels normal now. Number 2, your routine is actually protecting your mental health, not limiting it. Here's something the Break Your Schedule and Live Freely crowd almost never mentions. Behavioral psychology research shows that human beings are built for rhythm. We're not wired for constant unpredictability. We're wired for patterns. Your nervous system calms down when it knows what's coming next. Studies show that routines and habits reduce the mental energy spent on decisions, which directly lowers anxiety and mental fatigue. When you wake up at the same time, follow the same route, and eat at the same hour, your brain reads that as safety. It gives you more mental space for everything else in your life. Your 9 to 5 routine isn't a cage. It's a structure your nervous system can actually relax inside. That predictability people call boring is the same thing that keeps you stable, grounded, and able to show up for the people who depend on you. That's the foundation of a stable life. Number 3, you're driven by something psychologists call prosocial motivation, and it's one of the strongest forces in human behavior. If you ask most 9 to 5 workers why they go to work every day, the answer is almost never just for themselves. It's for their kids, for their parents, to keep things running, to give their family something they didn't have growing up. Research in organizational psychology shows that people who are motivated by others, not just themselves, aren't just more productive, they're more resilient. They keep going longer under pressure. They find meaning in what they do, even when the work itself isn't exciting. There's a quiet kind of strength in what you do that doesn't get attention online. No one goes viral for taking a job they don't love just because it provides health insurance for their family. But psychology sees that And psychology makes it clear that the reason behind that sacrifice is one of the strongest and most meaningful forms of motivation a person can have. Number 4, the stress you carry is real, and the fact that you handle it shows real psychological strength. Let's be honest, being a 9-to-5 American worker comes with a heavy load. Research consistently shows that work is one of the biggest sources of stress in American life. Financial pressure, job insecurity, difficult managers, and that constant feeling that no matter how hard you work, you still can't quite get ahead. These aren't small issues. They're real, documented systemic stressors. And yet, you deal with them. And here's the part most people miss. You keep going anyway. You find a way to get up again each morning. You figure things out. You find small moments of connection at your desk, in the break room, in the parking lot, at the end of a long day. Even if it doesn't feel like strength in the moment, that's exactly what it is. Psychology calls this resilience, the ability to adapt under ongoing pressure and keep functioning through difficulty. And this is where it gets interesting. It's not something you're born with. It's built over time, through repeated exposure to hard situations, combined with the belief that it's worth pushing through. That's what you've been doing this whole time. You've been building that resilience every single day, and the fact that it feels invisible to you is just a sign of how strong you've become. Number 5, you understand something about life that takes many people decades to learn. Meaning isn't found, it's made. Now this is where psychology goes deeper than most people expect. There's a powerful concept in existential psychology called the will to meaning. It's the idea that people aren't just trying to chase pleasure or avoid pain. We're searching for a sense that our lives actually matter. And here's what most people don't realize. Research supports what Viktor Frankl observed. Meaning isn't something you stumble into through the perfect job or ideal situation. It's something you build on purpose through your choices and your commitments. Every time you show up to a job that challenges you, every time you push through a hard week to provide for someone you care about, every time you choose responsibility over impulse, you're creating meaning. That's not abstract. That's real. You're building a life that has weight, substance, and real impact on real people. And that's the part no one gives you enough credit for. That's not a consolation prize. That's the whole point. A 9-to-5 worker isn't someone who gave up on their dreams. It's someone who chose a different kind of courage, the quiet, unglamorous, deeply human kind. The kind built on consistency, responsibility, and love expressed through action, not appearance. And if that's you, then this matters more than you think. If no one has told you this lately, what you do matters. The life you're building is real. The people you show up for feel it, even if they don't always say it. And the strength you're building, one ordinary Tuesday at a time, goes deeper than anything a productivity guru's morning routine could ever produce. So the next time someone romanticizes the hustle or constant reinvention, you don't have to shrink. You can stand in your own truth because psychology backs you up. If this made something click for you, subscribe. Every week, we break down the psychology behind everyday human experiences, the things you feel but can't quite explain. And the more you start to understand yourself, the more you'll realize there was never anything wrong with you in the first place. You just hadn't heard the full story yet. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. I'll see you in the next one.